Now, grandmother's idea of how a girl should ride a sled was that she should sit on it with her back very straight, her legs straight out in front of her, her skirt tucked around her legs, a blanket over her skirt, and someone should pull her on a level surface. Doesn't sound like much fun, does it? Pidge and I, we liked to go fast, and the faster the better. So, we went out to the kitchen and we got an old candle and we rubbed that candle wax onto those metal runners until they were good and slick. And then we carried that sled to the top of 2nd Avenue, the highest hill in Atchison. And I got to go first because I am older. I put that sled under my arm and I started running with it. And I ran and I ran and I ran until I couldn't run any faster. And then I threw that sled on the ground and I threw myself on top of that sled and I went down that hill. Blocking the wind was flying through my hair. I was blind. I really was blind because it had snowed about this much the day before. And you know how it melts at midday and it freezes again overnight, so there's a crust of ice on top of that snow, and I hit that ice and I flew through the air, and I was thinking how much Pidge was going to enjoy this when it was her turn. And then I saw, at the bottom of the hill, going to be very soon, where I was going to be very soon, was a wagon pulled by a horse, and I couldn't stop, I let out a yell! But the driver, he had his hat pulled down over his ears, and the horse had blinders on and wasn't paying attention to a thing. So I did the only thing I thought I could do. I steered that sled as best I could, and I went right between the legs of that horse. When I finally came to a stop, I looked back up the hill at my sister, and Pidge was up there waving at me. So I stood up and I went, ta-da! Just as though I had planned the whole thing. What was very lucky was that neither the horse nor the driver ever knew I was there. And I say that was lucky because that meant the grandmother did not know I was there either. So, as I said, I like to call that my first flight, but of course it had nothing to do with airplanes. I didn't get involved in aviation or even think about getting involved in aviation until a good many years later during the war. At that time I was in college, and Pidge was also in college. Her school was in Canada, a long ways away. Well, mine was a long ways away too. Mine was near Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. But my school let out for Christmas break earlier than hers. So I went up to Toronto to see the city and visit my sister. And one day we were taking a walk. And you know how it is when you're walking along the sidewalk and you're just talking and then as you walk. And they stopped coming toward us. Rather awkward looking group of people. And as I got closer, I saw that it was 4 men. And then that they were all in uniform. And finally, that each of those men had only one leg. That's why they were moving so strangely. They were on crutches. And I watched as those men walked toward us. And I watched as they walked past us. And I watched as they walked away. I will admit I was rude. I stayed.